Hello, I'm Professor Guido, here to talk about the moon phases and then discover everything there is to know about the phases of the moon. So first off, we're going to look at the new moon. So this right here is the new moon. And the new moon occurs when the moon is positioned between the Earth and the Sun. The three objects that are in approximate alignment. The entire illuminated portion of the moon is on the back of the moon. And the half we cannot see. So this would be the new moon, as if you would look up in the sky. You would see nothing but just a little portion of nothing. Just nothing at all. So it would be completely pitch black and you wouldn't be able to see anything from where you're standing or where you're looking at, no matter where you are in the world. 3. The next moon we will see is the waxing crescent moon. Sometimes called the young moon. It's always seen in the west after sunset. A waxing crescent moon is far enough away from the Earth sun line to be visible near the sun's glare. That is in the west after sunset. The waxing crescent moon is nearly on the line with the Earth and sun. Its illuminated hemisphere or day side is facing mostly away from us. So this is what you would see if you were looking up at the sky in the night when there was a waxing crescent, and you would only see about half of the, like a crescent of the moon. Okay. This is the next moon you would see in the moon phase, and it's the first quarter, and it happens when the moon is at a 90-degree angle with respect to the Earth and Sun. So we are seeing exactly one half of the moon illuminated and half in shadow. So this is exactly what you would see if you looked up in the sky in the first quarter. Half of the moon is lit from the sun, and the other half is a shadow, because we see only half of the moon. Okay, next moon we see is waxing gibbous. This moon appears high in the east at sunset. It's more than half lighted, but less thankful. Sometimes waxing gibbous appears in the afternoon. This happens because as the phase of the moon, a large fraction of the moon's day side is facing our way.
We're talking about the full moon. Stars and moon and sun are in approximate alignment just as the new moon, but the moon is on the opposite side of the Earth. So the entire sunlight part of the moon is facing us. The shadow part is entirely hidden from view. This is what you see on a full moon. Gibbous is defined to occur when the moon appears to be more than one half but not fully illuminated. Is decreasing. We consider the moon to be waning. Each new lunar cycle is measured beginning at each new moon, and the waxing gibbous occurs when the moon is more than one half but less than 3/4 of the way around the sky along its orbit from the moon. The warning gibbous. The moon is a 90-degree angle. We see exactly half of the moon at night. So this is a third quarter moon.
Okay, the next moon phase we see is the waning crescent. This moon is sometimes called an old moon. It is seen in the east before dawn. Now the moon nearly entirely around its orbit of Earth and measures from one new moon to the next. Talk about solar eclipses, tides, and Galileo Galilei as Italian scientists. So solar eclipses occur when the moon passes directly between Earth and the sun, blocking sunlight from Earth. The darkest part of the moon's shadow is the umbra. Only people that are within their umbra see a total lunar eclipse. The penumbra is less dark than the umbra. People that are in the penumbra see a partial solar eclipse. Okay, so tides. Tides are the rise and fall of ocean water that occur every 12.5 hours. Tides are caused mainly by differences in how much the moon's gravity pulls on different parts of the Earth. There are high tides and low tides. High tide occurs because of the moon's gravity on the side closest to the moon. And low tides occur in between them and are exactly the opposite of a high tide. Spring tides are the force produced by the combined force of the sun and moon's gravity to produce a tide with the greatest difference between consecutive low and high tides. It occurs during a new moon and a full moon. Okay, Galileo Galilei, he was an Italian scientist that made the first telescope that had 2 lenses in the wooden tube. He saw more detail in the moon than anyone ever before. He noticed different features which he named Maria, craters, and highlands. Maria are dark, flat areas on the moon's surface that were once formed by ancient lava flows. Craters are large pits formed by meteorites hitting the moon. Highlands are mountains that were peaks that cast dark shadows.
Eclipse and tide. A lunar eclipse occurs at a full moon when Earth is directly between the moon and the sun. During a lunar eclipse, Earth blocks the sunlight from reaching the moon. The moon is then in Earth's shadow and looks dim from Earth. Lunar eclipses occur when there is a full moon because the moon is closest to the Earth's shadow at the time. Like the moon's shadow, the solar eclipse, Earth's shadow has an umbra and penumbra. You can see the edge of Earth's shadow on the moon before an a total lunar eclipse. When the moon is the Earth's umbra, you can see a total lunar eclipse. A total lunar eclipse can be seen anywhere on Earth that the moon is visible. A partial lunar eclipse occurs when the moon passes parity into the umbra of Earth's shadow. Now I'm going to be talking about a neap tide. During the moon's first quarter and third quarter phases, the line between Earth and the sun is at right angles to the line between Earth and the moon. The sun and Earth pulls it as right angles to the moon pulls. This arrangement produces a neap tide. A tide with the least difference between consecutive low and high tides. Neap tides occur twice a month.
Okay. So now I'm going to show you some pictures of the things I've talked about. Alright, so first, pull it out of my magic sweatshirt. Here is the telescope that Galileo created. As you can see, there's 2 lenses on each side. And this is the wooden stick or tube. And here's his signature. Okay, so the next one is, alright, this is a solar eclipse. This is like what it happens. Here's the sun, here's the earth, there's the penumbra and the umbra. You can see the penumbra is bigger, and then umbra is smaller and more direct. Okay, so this is a solar eclipse. As you can see, the sun is showing a little bit in the back. And that's the moon, and it's dark. Okay, so this is Galileo. He was the Italian scientist that invented the telescope that I showed you.
So I'm going to be showing you photos of the things that I talked about. Right here is the lunar eclipse. Right here is the penumbra, umbra. And then the sun, earth, and the moon. Right here is the lunar eclipse. The sun is behind the moon. As you can see, it does not look like a solar eclipse at all. Then right here is the moon. It has craters. Beautiful, aren't they? Say some facts about the moon.
The moon is 3,476 kilometers in diameter, which is a little less than the distance across the U.S. The moon is 130 degrees Celsius in direct sunlight. Whew, that's high. Okay, and negative 180 degrees Celsius at night. That'd be cold. Brr!
That'd be cold, dude.
Okay, there is no liquid water on the moon, but there is ice patches because of the coldness. Okay, so the origin of the moon. Scientists theorize the planet-sized object collided with Earth to form the moon. The leftover pieces would join together to form the moon. So here is what happened. This is the Earth. This is another planet. Boom! There's little pieces everywhere. And they joined together and created what today is known as the moon.
Bloopers!
The bloopers! So here are some fun facts about the moon. Okay. So the moon is 340. Okay. I'm good. I'm good.
Said that we said nothing.
There we go. I'm Mackenzie. I'm here to talk about solar eclipses, tides, and Galileo Galilei.